Oh my God! No, you didn't! Y'all got me dead. Y'all going to hell. Oh my goodness.
This is what happened to the Titan.
All right, the ship imploded. They've been dead the whole time. But what was the banging?
They died in 2 nanoseconds, and it takes your spinal column 4 nanoseconds to register to your brain that there's a problem. So they instantly had no idea what happened. That is the best news I've heard in 4 days.
Yeah, as we said, that's...
May God have mercy on their souls, honestly.
Well, there was.
Seafood want more flavor. Give me some pepper.
You imagine paying $250,000.
Here's the tea. 250,000 to a billionaire means something totally different than what it means to us. Remember when you get paid for your first job and it was like 120 and you were like, this is the most money I've ever seen? And now $120 as an adult is just like bottomless brunch and a spontaneous piercing. What do you think? So let me explain what I mean in terms of iced coffees. So iced coffee is $7, and if you make $50,000, that's gonna be that or 0.014% of your income. Now, what is 0.014% of $1 billion? $140,000. One $7 iced coffee to us is $140,000. So a $250,000 ticket divided by $140,000, that's 1.75 iced coffees. $250,000 to a billionaire is you buying one iced coffee with a pump of vanilla, a shot of espresso, and oat milk. This is how much these guys made in a year. Now I know net worth and income are different, but this is for simplicity. To be real, these guys are totally heroes. Like, they heard us say eat the rich and they were like, okay, we'll go drown ourselves. Like, that's an ally.
Breaking news, we are just learning that the founder and CEO of OceanGate, the company that owns the lost submersible that went down to view the Titanic wreckage, was recently sued over fraud after failing to return $500,000 for a couple who purchased an expedition after he canceled repeatedly. I'm also still reviewing documents on another lawsuit the company's had for a previous employee who says that the submersible that he was working on was not safe for the depths that it operates at, and that in turn he says he was fired. On this one, we'll focus on the fraud. Around November 28, 2016, Mark and Sharon Hagel said they signed a contract with OceanGate to participate in a trip to view the Titanic wreckage, each paying a deposit of around $10,000 for the trip in June of 2018. According to the Hagels, the contract they signed included 2 additional payments. One was a $40,000 payment that was supposed to be paid after the first dive of Cyclops 2, which was expected to be in October 2017. The second, $55,129 payment was due about 4 months before the estimated date of their trip. Midway through 2017, the Hagels did not receive any updates from Rush and suspected Cyclops 2 was not going to be ready for its first dive, so they considered a refund. In September 2017, Rush traveled to the Hagels' homes to convince them to keep investing in the trip. According to the Hagels, Rush went into more detail about the planned trip, adding the Cyclops 2 would be ready to launch and that they could still receive a refund at any time. In January 2018, the Hagels said they received new contracts that said they would have to pay the the full sum of the trip and not the staggered payments scheduled in their original contracts. The Hagels said based on their meetings with Rush in September that they signed the new contracts, and in February 2018 wired $190,258 to OceanGate. According to them, about a month later, OceanGate renamed Cyclops 2 to Titan, which is the same submersible lost in the North Atlantic Ocean. The Hagels said OceanGate canceled their planned 2018 trip aboard the Titan because OceanGate did not have enough time to conduct a full series of test dives to be sure the vessel could reach the Titanic, and rescheduled their trip for July 2019. However, in June 2019, according to the Hagels, OceanGate canceled their trip again, saying its contracted support vessel refused to participate. The trip was rescheduled again for some time in 2020. The Hagels then asked for a refund from Rush for all the money they had paid, which totaled $210,258. According to court documents, Rush began working on a full refund plan. On June 19th, 2019, the Hagels received another cancellation notice, saying the Titan was experiencing equipment failure. The trip was rescheduled again for July 2020. On October 24th, 2019, the July 2020 was canceled due to unspecified reasons. Finally, in July 2021, OceanGate demanded the Hagels go on to a July 2021 trip aboard the Titan to see the Titanic. According to the Hagels, when they refused, OceanGate told them they would not be getting a refund. The Hagels are asking for damages, attorney's fees, and court costs. I'll be recording a video about the employee's lawsuit over what he deemed to be an unsafe vessel next.
I called for help twice, and not a fuck you, what do you need, or nothing.